All right, let's get into Friday feedback for the week. On Fridays, we look at emails, comments, tweets, TikTok replies, Substack comments, Reddit posts, anything we think of to check. We start with an interesting post from Puzzled Shop on the subreddit about David calling Americans stupid. Puzzled Shop says in his Tulsi segment on today's show, David made a comment saying millions of people in this country are too stupid to know the difference between Tulsi's Russian talking points and the truth. This is so good. I think people love Trump because he says it like it is. He puts down liberals, people of color, women, queer people, and he won twice. America hates to think, but America likes to hate someone. I think that more people in the media space and politicians should be using this language. It's good to pick and choose battles, but generalizing groups of Americans as too stupid will make the independents and the manosphere bros and the suburban TikTok moms not want to be part of the too stupid group. So listen, here's my thought on this. One of the unfortunate things about hosting a show like this is that I have to style my hair like this. No, I'm kidding. One of the unfortunate things about hosting a show like this is that there is nothing I can do that some people won't criticize. You know, when I've casually mentioned I'm not a cat guy, you would think, who gives a damn about if I like cats? But I get dozens of emails from cat people saying that knowing that turns them off from the show because they've assessed that if you don't like cats, there are other personality traits that make you someone not to be trusted. There's nothing I can say that some people won't be angry about. When I don't say, we got millions of stupid people we're dealing with here. There are people who write in and go, David, you just got to be more forceful with the language. Low information voter doesn't cut it. You've got to just call things what they are. And then when I do say, listen, at a certain point, if you've got 40 million morons voting, what can you do? People write in, they go, that's going to turn off people. You're not going to bring people in. But then the counterpoint is there's a lot of people who, if their movement starts being ridiculed as they're stupid, they might go, damn, I don't want to be in that group. I think all I can really do, and in a sense, the chorus situation from last week has kind of reinforced this. I can't please everybody. There are people that are going to be furious with me, some for things I've actually said and done, and some for things I haven't said nor done, but that they believe. Like, for example, the DNC directs your show. Wrong. So I can really only call it like it is. And if it turns some voters off, listen, there's much bigger shows than mine. I think it's a little bit self-centered and arrogant to think that whether I say there are stupid people in this country will win or lose elections. I am going to make an effort to call things what they are without sugarcoating it, okay? You may like it, you may dislike it. Muzza Dempy on YouTube said, Pakman, you talk too much. And they use the wrong to, so they're suggesting I talk to someone named Much, but I think what they mean is that I talk more than they would like me to talk. Listen, this is my show, okay? There's a lot of things I can change about the show, but it's an hour a day show. It's me talking for an hour a day. If you don't like that, you got to find a different show, bro. I don't know what to tell you. All right, Ross on YouTube says, no offense, but don't you and your followers get bored of following Trump news each and every day? I'm not a Trump supporter at all, really. The really is a little weird. I'm not a Trump supporter at all, really, but I'm burned out just from the recommendations I get from your channel through the week. I'm just saying, doesn't seem like a very healthy existence. Trump is going to do Trump stuff, whether you like it or not. 3 more years, guys, then it's over. Go outside and touch grass. Well, listen, I'm fatigued by a multi-decade plague of idiocy and creeping authoritarianism in this country. I'm fatigued by it. Whether I'm tired of the fact that right now it's coming from Trump as opposed to other people, I don't really think in those terms. I'm thinking in the terms of what do I need to communicate to my audience? What do we need to know about so that we can try to stop it? As far as go outside and touch grass, I'm with you. I mean, listen, to my own detriment, I have said many times, I believe others should have a media consumption diet like mine. And my show and shows like mine are at the tip of the pyramid. It's a small part. I hope people are living in their communities, getting off of screens, reading history, reading economics, existing in the real world. And then you know what? Shows like this and others like it, hopefully, can provide a community of sorts where you and like-minded people can commiserate, but it is not where I suggest people spend the bulk of their time. I know a handful of people who are, I guess, what now is called terminally online with news and politics. They're not pleasant to be around. They're real, and they don't seem to have good mental health environments created for themselves either. So, as many of you know, when I'm done filming the Friday show, I do not pay attention to the news or political happenings until I start working on the Monday show. It's a scheduled break. I agree. Go outside and touch grass. But this idea of getting tired, we're trying to stop some pretty horrible stuff from happening here. I don't get tired of that, that's for sure. XO Sol Tai, a reference to Battlestar Galactica, I believe, says, I worry that MAGA will not accept the dear leader's death was by natural causes. This is something I've been very worried about, even well before the last election, but with Trump's health issues becoming more and more publicly visible and blatantly obvious, I've been thinking about this more and more lately. After years of the MAGA cult constantly repeating the claims of how healthy, strong, virulent, and alpha the dear leader is, will they ever accept that his death was by natural causes and not just go right to the claim that it is some sort of deep state or Democrat conspiracy? Even given how obvious it is that he has health issues, swelling ankles, bruised hands, cognitive decline, age, weight, diet, even Trump himself showing signs he's worried he's going to die soon, I don't think MAGA will or possibly can accept that Trump will die of natural causes. This is a nice post. It is true that in cults, when the leader dies, is incapacitated, or is diminished in whatever way is relevant, there are people who deny that, who refuse to accept it. Or, some start to believe in reincarnation, he's not really dead, whatever. But I think that when Trump dies, when Trump slips the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God, when that day comes, I do believe that there is a part of MAGA that will go, it's over. We're out. And whether they go back to not voting or following politics at all, I don't know. There will be cultists who will refuse to accept Trump died or will believe it's a conspiracy or whatever. But I think some are waiting for the okay to move on. Ghost of Tuvix writes, I was very skeptical of Gavin Newsom, but I'm starting to see why David likes him. Given the entirety of David's recent interviews with some big names in politics, Gavin really has come out on top there. Despite any disagreements I might have with him and his views, he has shown himself capable of throwing some real punches, and I hope California votes for his redistricting plan. I actually quite like Elizabeth Warren, but seeing her baby talk down to David and Jesse in that interview a couple of months back was like a slap in the face. That one left a very bad taste in the mouth. Similarly, with others that have done a lot of talking but not much walking, it left me with little hope for the future, outside of the Republican Party potentially collapsing in on itself. Who knows what tomorrow will bring, or if Gavin can attain more support nationally, but I can now certainly see why David put his name up there as a potential frontrunner. Listen, as you know, I am endorsing no one. It's endorsing for what? It's 2025. I'm just pointing out who's fighting right now. And strongly worded letters, I don't consider to be fighting. Meeting voters where they are, I don't consider that fighting. We need to fight without going over moral lines that we just simply shouldn't. I think we need to be fighting with every tool we have. I would get rid of partisan redistricting today if I could. I can't. Therefore, we got to give them a taste of their own medicine if we can. I would like the discourse to go back to where it was at some point, more civil, more educated. I can't make that happen overnight. And so mocking Trump for his pathetic, childish communication style, it's a tool. So that's where I'm at on this. There's no perfect politician, no one I'm going to agree with on every issue. We do need people who will fight, and that's important. All right, Massimukist says, meanwhile, he, meaning Trump, is bragging about how much of your dollars he spent on decor while y'all can't afford groceries. Yeah, one of the things that is particularly, I don't know what the word is, off-putting and disgusting and depraved about Trump bragging about how he's got gold trim in the Oval Office now and all of this stuff is that we supposedly didn't have money for anything. We supposedly were so far in debt that any penny we could save should be saved. That's the only moral way to do it. And meanwhile, Trump's redecorating with gold the Oval Office. That's your money. Now, the ballroom, I don't remember whether the ballroom is Trump's paying for it or what the hell's going on with that. But where are all the people angry about, we need to be fiscally conservative. Nobody's got money. And Trump's spending money on gold leaf? Give me a break, guys. B. Dermady says California vegetables should be shipped to Democratic states like New York. Let the red states grow their own vegetables. Listen, I'm not for starving anybody, but I do believe that there should be a really clear understanding as these MAGAs think that a red state country could be viable, that we remind them we do not have a viable food supply if you're only depending on red states. The innovation is disproportionately in the blue states. The federal funds that red states receive are disproportionately subsidized by the blue states. The patents that lead to technologies that benefit all 50 states are overwhelmingly developed in blue states. The education's better. The standard of living is better. The healthcare is better. The schools are better. And so for me, it's not about let's starve the red states. It's let's explain to them that the reason they can live in this dilapidated bubble is because of the blue states that are subsidizing everything and bringing up the rear. I don't know that they necessarily care or that they'll acknowledge it, but I think that's better than starving people. Okay, from YouTube, Trump's major accomplishment is making George W. Bush look like a genius. Every time I talk about this, 5-10 people write in, they go, Neo-lib David saying Bush was a good president. You can recognize that Trump is in a different league than Bush while not praising Bush. And it is true. Another example is Romney. I didn't vote for Romney in 2012. I think Obama was better than what Romney would have been. But the idea of Romney as an authoritarian nightmare, the way Trump has become, that was not a concern with Mitt Romney. Would he have done what I wanted on gay rights? No, of course not. Not a guy I agree with, same as George W. Bush. But I do think sometimes context is useful in thinking about the world around us. info@davidpakman.com. Get your emails in. Get my Substack newsletter at substack.davidpakman.com. We'll see you on the bonus show and then back next week.